Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Generally, when I work on a project, I just kind of start working on it. That being said, sometimes I will stream parts of the project, but I usually just pick what I'm going to do and I do it. This time I'm going to do a before video because I have a lot of parts I want to talk about, and if I were to talk about those in the actual video, it would be insanely long. And then I'm going to do the build video, which will include the finished product. I'm also doing this because I want to get a little bit of feedback from some people, because every once in a while I get some really brilliant ideas in the comment section, and it really sucks when you get those after you've completed the blaster. So welcome to the inaugural test of, well, another big Stryfe build. And honestly, there's a lot of big Stryfe builds out there, but this is one that you have a chance to be a part of. So for that, we're going to need a Stryfe. It's almost gone, but here's the lovable Quincy. This Stryfe had no idea how many views it would get on the internet, and yet here it is. It's almost faded, and we're going to kill it, and yes, we're going to wind up painting Quincy, although the blaster will still be named Quincy, and this will be its memorial right here. It's already kind of a modded, like, Stryfe. It's technically wired up, and it's got this extremely long pusher, which I don't even know where the gearbox is for that right now, which we will talk about a little bit, but, oh man. Walcom of like 2 years ago, or was it 3, was a complete idiot. Oh well, I'm sure I can fix it. Anyway, we've got a Stryfe, and the reason why we have a Stryfe as opposed to like a swordfish or something like that is because I got a lot of parts that are very specific to the Stryfe, and you're gonna see where this build gets a little complicated. So for one, I've got an End War 2019 exclusive aluminum flywheel cage from Containment Crew with my only set of their new Inferno wheels. I've been interested in using these for a while, but I've had this whole cage with the matching End War blue mag release, and then I even got myself the battery door, which they kindly sent to me after the fact because they said they sold out of them before I even knew they existed. And then they sent me a message on Facebook saying, hey, we actually had a bunch here, so if you want to buy one, here you go. So I have this stuff right here, which is anodized blue aluminum kind of stuff, and that means that I can't really paint this stuff. I have to work it into the entire build of the blaster. So it's gonna have this kind of dark sea blue. It's a nice metallic blue. It's gonna be a part of the blaster no matter what I do. And that means I'm gonna have to put a motor, like probably 2 little motor covers on it so I can have a see-through thing so you can see the cage. And if I'm gonna do something like that, I might as well have some nice End War specific Fang revamp motors. These are a little beat up, but they look fine from the back, and that's pretty much the only part you're going to see. Which means this is going to be, I believe, a 2S build, if I remember correctly. Fang revamps are 2S. Not that it matters a whole lot, because 2S, these things, like, they still hit really flippin' hard. But to make this a little bit more interesting for it, I am actually going to cut this Stryfe in half. Something that I saw done a long time ago that I planned on doing myself, but I'm basically going to cut from about here and up, and then move this part back to make this completely usable only with short darts. It's a build that I've been wanting to do for a while, and that's why I kept saying Quincy was going to be cut in half, and I'm going to stick to my word on that, and Quincy is going to get cut in half. And if that wasn't complicated enough, things are about to get a lot more complicated. So I have in my possession, with special thanks to Daddy Homely, a Re-Armory Stryfe kit. I believe this is all the pieces. They've been in a drawer for a long time. I haven't ever used them. I think there's even extra pieces, or just like there's a trigger and stuff and a mag release. I mean, there's a mag release in this and stuff. So yeah, this whole kit right here, I'm gonna put on this, which means I'm probably going to have to cut it. I may not, if I'm gonna shorten this down, I may not actually need to cut it, but I may need to cut this rail so it will look right when it's put all the way back. But we've got a nice little angled foregrip right here. We've got a grip guard, which of course you know I absolutely have to have. So I will have a completely done kind of Re-Armory, yet I modified the kit Stryfe that will have all this pretty blue anodized aluminum stuff in it, but I'm still missing some things. Now I could use the trigger and stuff from this, and to be quite honest, I might, but I have another option for me, and of course since these are all white, I can paint them whatever color. I don't actually know what color would go with this blue right now though. However, I have more stuff because a long time ago I was sent a bunch of crazy parts from Big ZenZ. Neon pink, transparent parts for the Stryfe. Now, my thought is that even if I use a lot of this stuff, you won't even see it. Like, if I use this piece right here, you basically will not see it because all the other parts are going to be on there. So I'm not sure if I'll even use them, but I do have mag releases, rev triggers. I even have transparent end strike lock attachment points. So there's a lot here, especially with the jam door that I could be using to put into this thing and make it really flippin' cool. But now I'm working with like 4 different colors of things. And can we make this worse? We totally can, because one thing that I got that, again, from Homely, that I've been wanting to use for quite some time is this absolutely amazing worker stock. It's the Scar style stock, but it actually, if I can do this, there we go, it's a little stiff. It actually folds, which not a whole lot of people use. And I think this is a very, very comfortable and awesome looking stock that honestly matches this blaster very well, even with like the rail and stuff on there for, let's see if we can find the rail for the rear sight. So even with that rail on there, if I put on this stock, it's a very, very close fit. It looks really flippin' cool in my opinion. And of course it folds, which that makes things really freaking cool. So I really have to use that, which means I will have to paint this stock because I'm not going to leave it pure black, but thankfully I've already painted a bunch of black 3D printed parts and it turned out really good with L-Chan, so yeah, I don't see a problem with that. And that leaves me to like, I don't even know where to begin, to be perfectly honest. I originally didn't want to use a whole side-mounted battery tray kind of thing, because it's just kind of an ugly wart. And here in nearly Space Year 2020, we have all sorts of options for these kinds of things, but it's not that bad. And I have this beautiful aluminum battery door, so I might as well do something with it, you know? The other question is what I'm going to do with the actual pushing mechanism on this. Do I want to leave it the standard Stryfe pusher? Not exactly. I have this weird one that was the really cheap gearbox that you could use that was on like Lytake or NF Strike or something like that, that also had a really long pusher that you could install, which is why the pusher is in here. And I did fix the gearbox not too long ago, but I just never used it for anything. In fact, I don't even know exactly where it is right now, but I'm sure I can find it in a drawer. The other idea was I could take most of the internals out of something like the Ultima Stryfe, but the pushers that I use in those, for some reason mine is really temperamental. I believe it grinds down the gears the more you use it, which has been kind of an issue with mine, and I'm a little scared to take it out and try to put in something like this, because I've taken that to wars and had it straight up not do anything. There are also other gearboxes out there I could be using, but does this thing need to be full auto? Does it need to be select fire? I mean, I don't really want to spend a whole lot of money on it, especially when I have all of these parts right here, but there is potential there to get some kind of piece installed in on this. And what color am I going to paint this thing? I mean, I have to keep this blue, and if I'm going to use the pink parts, well, it could be something like that, but then I'm going to have a base coat as well, and I'm probably not going to be able to match either of these colors very well, so I don't exactly know where to move forward with this project, which is kind of why it's been sitting here for so long. I have the basic idea down of what I want this blaster to be, but it's going to require a lot of painting, and it's going to require some thought. That's why I'm kind of turning this out to you guys out there at home, to give me your ideas of where you want to see this Stryfe go. And yes, I'm going to do the entire build and record the entire soldering process and everything for you, and hopefully one big long uncut video. So those of you who still struggle with Stryfes, that the original Quincy video didn't really give you a good idea of how to mod your blaster, we could just use this video to kind of give you a in-depth step-by-step Stryfe soldering guide. So I do want to hear what your thoughts are, and I want to get to your opinions on how we should take things from here. I've got all of the parts pretty much except for what I would want to use for a pusher. From there, it's just figuring out exactly where we're going to go. So please give me your feedback down in the comment section below. This will be a blaster that I'm going to build with all of you. And there's even like parts, like I can put this rail right here. I can put this muzzle brake that looks like it's from a Barrett 50 cal on there. There are some options here. There may even be parts that I haven't thought of that I can possibly get to slap on this thing that includes all of the stuff I already have. But I want to build my final big bad ultimate. I mean, I've already made the Ultima Stryfe, though. The best Stryfe I could possibly build that shoots short darts. I can also just keep the magwell the same and use like the Ezekiel mag adapter that I got. That's entirely possible as well, but I kind of like the idea of making the Stryfe a little bit shorter. Again, lots of ideas. Please let me know. Give me your feedback down below. And once I have a solid idea of what we're going to go with, we will build this entire thing. And hopefully, I won't have to build a Stryfe ever again. Because, to be honest, I kind of don't want to anymore. I wasn't a huge fan of the Stryfe until it started to get a whole bunch of aftermarket parts for it. And now I have a blaster that has almost every single aftermarket part I could possibly imagine. Seriously, I have pretty much everything, special thanks to Homely. Then these things that were given to me by a friend, he bought them for me at End War. Big ZenZ with all these things. Like, I have so many parts here, I don't even know what to do. So, seriously, help me out here, down in that comment section. Other than that, I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one. This is kind of a different one already, but you see where things are going. I'm trying to expand my horizons and do some different stuff.